Hi guys, welcome to our comprehensive gold outlook. In this article, we'll look at technical indicators, fundamental data, what drives the gold market, and as well as some predictions from banks, hedge funds, and other sources. Let's start with a technical indication, as you can see on our chart here. The gold price has been moving way to higher levels in 2025 so far. Question is the market going to stop at current levels, cut off shy of the 3,500 US dollar level, or will the market continue to run to the higher area? Currently, the market is kind of trading in a sideways pattern. We see that the market is not interested to move higher, but also well supported. Whenever the market, also based on shorter time frames, was moving to lower levels, buyers stepped in, pushing the market back to the upside. So the bullish trend, as we can say, as technical traders, is still pretty much intact. Looking at fundamental data, that's another story. First of all, the US dollar's weakness helped so far to push the market back to the upside. Gold is measured in US dollars. If the dollar turns weaker, obviously more upside in this market can be seen. And the upside in gold seems to kind of work in tandem with the dollar weakness. If the greenback remains on the weaker side, we get rate cuts out of the US, which might cause the dollar to remain shaky and lose some steam. This might help the gold price to move eventually even higher. Furthermore, there is geopolitical tensions. We currently have the situation in the Ukraine, where basically the attack of Russia on the Ukraine helps pushing the gold price to the upside initially. Uncertainty is key in markets. Traders and investors alike tends to favor some safe haven assets, and gold is one of them, pushing the market even more to higher levels. Furthermore, we have other tensions with the Hamas in Israel and the Iran story, which is kind of calming down slightly, but is unchanged and unsolved. And that's obviously another reason which could push the gold price towards even higher levels. What's on the other side, potentially harming gold prices, pushing the markets back to the downside? Well, if the greenback, if the US dollar remains stronger again, and we see that the Federal Reserve in the US is just not doing any more rate cuts, potentially 2 rate cuts are expected towards the end of the year 2025, which could in the end cause the dollar to gear up some momentum. A stronger dollar would obviously kind of harm the price in gold, pulling the market back towards lower levels. Now it's time to look at forecasts and what big banks and hedge funds as well as AI predictions say about the gold price. So we look at the World Bank first. The World Bank initially said they expect the gold price to come down from 2,350 down towards the 2,050 US dollar level. One of the reasons behind that from the World Bank is that basically opportunity cost, the rising US dollar, would cause the gold price to weaken further. Hence, obviously, they downgraded their outlook. Furthermore, we have UBS as well as Citigroup, or as well other banks like Commerzbank, expecting that the market will rise towards the 2,900 US dollar level. So pretty much a much more bullish forecast in the prediction of gold prices towards the year end. And in the end, we also have Goldman Sachs, who believes that gold will rise towards the 3,000 US dollar level, substantially moving towards higher levels as in particular geopolitical tensions as well as the general outlook remains extremely bullish. Last but not least, we should also talk about central banks. The central banks across the globe have been accumulating gold in vast numbers. Just to name a few, the Bank of China, People's Bank of China, the Indian Central Bank, among other global banks, have started to accumulate gold as early as 2023, 2024, when the prices were starting to rocket to higher levels. Those figures, and they are undermined in our article as well, have kind of started to come down slightly. However, the strong demand by institutional buyers keeps pushing the markets to the upside and might even further push and help gold prices to move to higher levels. Now it's up to you whether you look for gold, to buy precious metals dealers potentially, but make your own assessment. Check out our article in depth where we laid out the foundation of potential movement in gold prices, as well as offering you some ideas on how you can participate in the gold market, one of the most interesting trading vehicles basically here at NAGA for our customers.